Now, in high definition, you're watching KFDM 6 News at 6 in HD.
We realize that it's, people are embarrassed because of it, but, we still try to maintain their dignity, maintain their confidentiality, but yet still treat and test.
An increase in sexually transmitted diseases among one segment of the population is drawing the attention of the Port Arthur Health Department. Good evening, I'm Larry Beaulieu.
And I'm Beaulieu. Thank you for joining us tonight. Many parents talk to their teenagers about sexually transmitted diseases, but a new survey suggests parents might want to speak with their mothers and fathers about STDs. A new study has found an increase in sexually transmitted diseases among seniors. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says senior citizens now account for nearly 1/4 of the total number of AIDS cases. That's up 17% from 2001. Healthcare workers say medications like Viagra and Cialis could be factors in the increase of STDs in the elderly population. The Port Arthur Health Department wants to remind everyone that sexually transmitted diseases are preventable and testing is available at the Health Department office on Austin Avenue.
It's important to know, what's going on or what's in your history, what's in your past, because there are certain things like herpes that patients may have contracted years ago, and, because of the immune system, it's starting to activate.
The Port Arthur Health Department offers STD testing for $10. HIV and syphilis testing is free. For more information about the Health Department, log on to KFDM.com and go to the Daily Links section.
Investigators say a woman who was cooking breakfast in her home left the food unattended and it caused a fire that led to a lot of damage. 3 people live at the home at 2020 Kingsley Drive in South Beaumont near Lamar University. A woman was home alone when the grease fire started about 9:50 this morning. Firefighters got to the scene in a matter of minutes. No one was hurt. Flames heavily damaged the home and the Red Cross is helping the family. First responders say the woman tried to put out the fire by herself by pouring water on it, and that made the flames worse. She then called 911.
If you have a fire in your residence, get out, retreat to safety, go to neighbors, make the phone call, units are en route. Your safety is our utmost responsibility, and we're worried about your safety. Property can be replaced, but a life can't. So if you do have some type of emergency at your house, 911.
A family that escaped from a fire with their lives is now reaching out for some help with their recovery. Sandra and Willie Carter were at their home on Broadway Street in Beaumont with their 3 grandchildren when the fire broke out about 6 o'clock last night. Investigators say the fire started when one of the children was playing with a lighter. Despite the damage, the Carter family is clinging to their faith and hope. If you would like to help the family, an account has been set up at Education First Federal Credit Union. The account number is 964231.
A beautiful day weather-wise, and Greg says the weekend looks good too. Let's check in with him for our first look at the forecast. Greg?
Of course, we have some high school football tonight and beautiful weather for that. Right now up in Kirbyville, it's 84 degrees, but look at the humidity, 22%. Of a light northeasterly breeze for the football games tonight. It'll start out in the upper 70s, low to mid 60s by the 4th quarter, and we have some really cool temperatures coming up at night this weekend. We'll take a look at that in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Greg. A symbol of the freedom of our servicemen and women, the freedom they fight for, is back home after a trip halfway across the world. A flag that flew over a military base in Afghanistan was presented to the Beaumont Police Department on Jimmy Singletary's first day as the new chief. First Lieutenant Pamela Elliott worked for the Beaumont Police Department from 2003 to 2006. She is now in Edwards County in West Texas and was deployed to Afghanistan with the U.S. Army Reserve. First Lieutenant Elliott returned to Beaumont to present the American flag to the police department and new chief Jimmy Singletary. The flag was flown for 9 minutes 11 seconds on September 11th of this year. Her husband and one of her sons are also in Afghanistan. She says the American presence in Afghanistan has been met with a positive attitude.
My personal sacrifice, how can you take from a country if you can't give from the country? So that was something that I instilled in my children. You can take, but you got to give. Give more than you take. So personal sacrifice.
The U.S. military is giving back in many ways. First Lieutenant Elliott says her base opened a health clinic for the people of Afghanistan. Her unit is responsible for moving all of the food, water, fuel, and other resources from one place to another.
Coming up next on KFDM News at 6, the health inspector drops in on a Beaumont donut shop.
What did she find? We'll have details straight ahead in the restaurant report card.
Now, in high definition, you're watching KFDM 6 News at 6 in HD with Larry Beaulieu, Bill Leger, the latest weather with Chief Meteorologist Greg Bostwick, and sports with Mike Friedman.
This week's restaurant report card comes to us from the Beaumont Health Department. This time, inspectors found unsafe food temperatures, flies, and mold in the ice machine. We've got the highs and lows in this edition of the restaurant report card.
We begin with Happy Donuts on Delaware. Inspector Scott found kolaches and egg sandwiches at room temperature. There was improper hand washing. There was no chlorine to kill germs on the towels. Happy Donuts on Delaware gets an 82. Now to McDonald's at Parkdale Mall. Inspector Wilhelm found food not kept cold enough. The inspector reminded workers they must wash hands after handling money and before preparing food. There were gnats and flies. McDonald's near Parkdale gets an 81. Next is Sunshine on Concord in Beaumont. Inspector Scott found no soap at the hand sink and mold in the ice machine. There were many expired and water-damaged products. Sunshine in Beaumont gets an 87. And finally, we check out Supermax on Concord. Inspector Scott found improper hand washing, many expired and swollen cans, and no bleach to kill germs for dishwashing. Supermax on Concord gets a 76.
Here's some other scores tonight. Checkers Restaurant on North 11th, a 94. A 97 for Honey's Drive-In on Concord. Market Basket on 11th gets a 90. A 96 for Subway on College. Other scores include Walmart Supercenter gets a perfect score, and also a 100 for Kelly High School. These scores and more will be on our website at KFDM.com.
Good scores on high school football weather tonight.
Well, it's about as good as you're going to see tonight. It's going to be down in the low to mid-60s by the fourth quarter. Light winds, clear skies. It'll be a great weekend. If you like cooler temperatures, we even have that in the forecast later in the week. We'll take a look for that.
Now, KFDM Chief Meteorologist Greg Bostwick with the latest weather in HD.
Well, the front has moved on through. We had some clouds early this morning, but all that now has moved out to the Gulf or dissipated. Still a few lingering showers east of Brownsville, but what a nice day across the state. A good bit cooler. For example, Dallas yesterday at 100. They're at 81 right now, 83 in Waco. Real hot weather, kind of restricted to South Texas, but not too bad. Even Laredo at 92 this afternoon. 89 in Houston at this hour. We did reach a high temperature at the airport of 88, also 88 in Lufkin, topping out at 90 in Houston, and right around 90 degrees San Antonio and Austin, the San Antonio areas today, 94 in Victoria for their high. So a lot better conditions, and we should continue to see that this weekend. We can see the flow right out of the north into the Gulf of Mexico for tomorrow. Finally, a change coming up, which may bring us some rain toward next weekend. The high should be right overhead by next Friday. But for the first time this season, we're seeing a big storm coming to California. That'll be heading eastbound, so maybe by Saturday, Sunday of next weekend, we'll have a decent chance of rain, but we're not expecting any rain at all in the forecast for next week. Out in the tropics, Ophelia, pretty strong hurricane winds, a little over 100 miles per hour. There's the eye, very well defined, moving due north now. It'll turn out to the open Atlantic toward the northeast over the weekend. No impact to any land areas, so good news there as well. So hurricane season really closing down over the Gulf of Mexico with these fronts coming in. The marine forecast seas will run about 2 to 4 feet. Now the winds will be a little bit gusty again tomorrow, northeast up to 20 knots, water temperature at 81. And right now along the coast down at the port of Port Arthur, the winds remain out of the northeast, but pretty light right now and 83 degrees down there. What a nice night for the lakes area tonight. Fair skies, lows cooling off nicely down toward the low 50s by daybreak. And for the Triangle, also fair and cooler conditions tonight. Will be down into the middle 50s. Tomorrow, sunshine and cooler weather. Highs tomorrow only reaching the 80-degree mark, around 80, 81 for the lakes, and low 80s tomorrow afternoon for the Triangle. Humidity 20% in the afternoon with light northeast winds. The forecast for the next 5 days. Very few times this time of year we can string together 5 consecutive days of lows in the 50s, but that's what we have coming up. In fact, Sunday, Monday morning, 51 the Triangle, some upper 40s up in the lakes. Isn't that nice?
Wow, it'll be hot chocolate at the football
Just
game
about.
if that holds on
Exactly.
next
Really
week.
nice stuff.
And rice balls for the weekend with
That's
the
right,
Texas Rice
Festival
Festival.
going on.
All right,
Yes.
thank you, Greg. Just ahead, it is the longest-running rivalry in Texas high school football.
Mid-County Madness, Nederland versus PNG. Mike Friedman and KFDM Sports with a preview coming up next.
Now, KFDM Sports in HD with Mike Friedman.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Friedman. We are at the reservation tonight, where else but for Mid-County Madness. It's the 88th edition of this rivalry game between PNG and Nederland. I'm here with Alex Kelly. And, you know, a lot has been happening between these two schools over all these years. And, well, the last time it was held here at the reservation, it was PNG that came out on top. But the reigning Mid-County Madness champions are Nederland. Nederland won it last year on their own home field. We should be in for a good game coming up tonight.
Absolutely. Of course, you got the PNG Indians coming in 0-1 in district. Nederland Bulldogs, another thriller in the fourth quarter for them this season. This past one against the Vider Pirates with only 2 minutes left in the ball game. Both teams tested, both teams ready for the big matchup. Talking to them this week, they all said they expect this one to come down to that final fourth quarter.
Yeah, I know when you talk to both coaches, and finally Coach Faircloth admitted that this is the biggest game of their season because he knows it's not just about the teams, this is the communities involved. Tailgaters out here, this is a day event out here on the reservation for Mid-County Madness. This is actually the KFDM Friday night tailgate party, tailgate out here. We've got some of James Brown's gumbo, and we've got a gumbo taster. Oh, this is our own Lance Edwards out here as well. How is it, Lance?
It's magnificent considering I did all the work on this gumbo and James did just like about that much. 80% of the work, but you know what? It's delicious. Got plenty left, Mike. So get out here. You got an hour before the game starts. Come get some tailgate gumbo right here. Channel 6 and Classic Tent next to the fire department.
That's right. We're here in the parking lot, and free gumbo for anyone that wants it. It'll be out here until it runs out pretty much. So we should be in for a good game. We look forward to that. Before we say goodbye, of course, you know, my final time I'll be pitching back to the studios with Uncle Larry there in the studios. My 13-year career here, and of course it's been fantastic working for you and with you, Uncle Larry. And while you'll be missed, certainly we wish you the best in your retirement.
Absolutely. I've only been here 3 years, but it may have been a small part of his day, but whenever he stopped in the hallway and said, Alex, I enjoyed your story, it was a big credit to me, so I appreciate it, and thank you very much.
Tough day for us at Channel 6, Uncle Larry, but best of luck to you. All right, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, guys, thank you for those good wishes and for your good work.
And stay tuned for a special goodbye to Uncle Larry in just a minute. Well, finally tonight is how we usually begin the final story of our newscast, but of course it takes on an added meaning tonight because it is Uncle Larry Beaulieu's final newscast here on KFDM after 37 years, 46 years in broadcasting, something like that. And we made a mistake earlier. We were promoting this as your final night.
That's what you said last night. Tomorrow night will be Larry's last night, and I was hoping that I couldn't make it here today.
It sounded kind of morbid, but of course.
Well,
how do you feel on your last broadcast?
I feel fine. I feel good. It's great to have everybody here. This is some wonderful staff folks back here, and they've, it's KFDM is really a body of great people, and with a lot of experience represented by many of them, and a short tenure of experience represented by a lot of them, but they're all going to be great folks. They're all learning, and they make KFDM what it is, and it will continue to be a great television station, and because we have great people like Bill and Kelly and Dan and Greg and
Kelly's
James
already crying, but Kelly's been crying. Started crying at 1 p.m. Greg, you've worked alongside.
So I get to watch from the other side of the glass for a change,
Yeah, well, you hired me back in 1979. That's what I always remember, and I appreciate that. I was a young little Aggie out of A&M, and didn't have any experience, but you said took a chance.
You've been a great asset to us.
Well,
you are the weather.
You've been the stalwart on those hurricanes. Remember that?
Oh no, you're
Rita and Ike and everything is great.
Let's don't go to any more hurricanes.
No.
And Dan Gresham also came in tonight for the.
Come on, they can't see you, Dan.
Well, we just spent 20 minutes talking.
Yeah, Dan and I were just on his radio station together.
No, I own the radio station. I wish it.
Usually you have to call in to talk to Dan, but I got to go over there in person.
You know, and my impression is, and we talked about this today on the radio station, what I think makes Larry a good leader was the fact that he recognized the importance of hiring people, giving them jobs, and then letting them do their jobs. Yeah. You know, so many people micromanage, and always felt like Larry was, to my opinion, smart enough to know you hire those people and let them do their job. And that's why you have 20 years and 20 years and 25 or 30 years and a number of other people back there, because Larry understood the idea of hiring people and also making them comfortable. I mean, it's been real easy. We work in a business where most people stay 2 years, and especially in this size market. And we have a lot of people who stayed. And I think you're the primary reason, Larry.
Well,
and I appreciate it, just like Greg.
It's a culture that has existed here for a long time, and it'll continue that way.
And we've got Scott, who has written many of the words that you have said.
For at least 22 years as the executive producer. And I have to say, your interest and involvement are unparalleled. You're the general manager, but your interest in news and wanting to know what's going on and calling and checking with us during the day and just always wanting to know what's top of mind in the community and in news is just unparalleled. And I know we'll continue, and I'll continue to get emails and calls. I'll welcome that.
You know, I was just described as not being a micromanager. Now, some people back here may disagree with that I bugged them a lot. But I would tell you what, everybody does a great job, and I think nobody would disagree that Scott Lawrence is probably, this guy's here when the sun comes up and when it leaves in the afternoon.
That's true. That's called a sickness.
I literally, to show you how, what lack of respect I get, I've tried to run him out of here. Scott, go home. I'm about to.
Well, it's a passion exhibited by you and imparted to all of us, and that's the key, is passion for what we do and caring, and that'll continue because of the legacy that you helped.
Well, another person who's been here quite a while and I will single him out because he was responsible for producing the program that we enjoyed last night about my job over the years. And so Tom Wright.
Tom is standing by, actually.
I think Tom is.
Tom is out at the football game. Tom?
Yeah, some of us still have to work. I'm sorry I couldn't be there, Larry, but we felt like, your final broadcast, that we wanted to do one final retrospective of your career, but being in a newscast, well, really can't, take too much time. So don't blink. Here's Larry's career in broadcasting, television news style. Take a look. Well, it works out to about, Larry, something like that. And hey, as you know, that's television. Larry, thank you for everything you've done for us. And we're going to miss you, buddy. Back to you guys in the Beaulieu Broadcasting Center.
Oh, that's another whole story, and I'm honored by that, too. And, Tom, thanks for watching my hair fall out completely in a minute and a half.
In 30 seconds.
That's right. Well, I'm really pleased tonight to be surrounded by the broadcast family, and the most important person in my other family's on the other side of the camera tonight. My wife, Nancy's here, and so appreciate
she
that.
She won't come out.
Yeah, she's...
Come on.
She is not shy.
Come on.
There were a lot of sacrifices by Nancy over the years. I know when you've. And we also have David Lowell, our news director, who's here with us tonight.
I wanted to give Tom credit because he apparently thought that you were Beatle-worthy to have that tribute. I also want to point out that there are a lot more people behind the scenes that are not on camera who all wish you the best as well. They're out covering high school football.
That's right. Friday night is a big night at the TV station.
It's still a big deal, and broadcasting goes on despite our loss here of our leader. But we're very glad that you've been with us, and we're thankful to have had you. And we know where you live, and we'll be back.
Well, I appreciate that, and most of all, what all these people do every day is all about you, the people at home. And so without all the viewer support that we've had for these many, many, many years, this would be for naught. So we appreciate all you viewers at home and your loyalty to KFDM for all these years. So.
I'm supposed to slide in here beside you.
Aw. You don't see that on TV every day.
At home.
Wayne Sparrow came in from Orange. Wayne was.
No, I think I'll pass.
Where's Wayne? Wayne is here, and Wayne is, gosh, when did you were here when I got here almost.
When you had black hair.
That's right. like you see on air right now.
Truly, it was, I had hair too. I had some hair. Yeah, truly it was more than an experience of working for Larry Beaulieu and Channel 6, but working with Larry Beaulieu and Channel 6. And truly it has been a family experience that I will always cherish.
Well, I appreciate it, Wayne. Okay. I tell you. Some great stories covered by Wayne Sparrow in his reporting career here at Channel 6 in the 70s.
Now, isn't there one guy that's been here longer than you that's standing behind us back there?
Yes,
Richard Keene.
My tenure currently is exceeded only by the chief engineer, Richard Keene. And so where's Richard?
He's right. He's hiding in the back.
Raise both hands, Richard, back here. Richard, yeah, there you go. That's why you'll know who Richard is. Richard is the person who makes all these pictures fly through the air in high definition and full color all the time. And you've done a great job for us, Richard. We appreciate that very, very much.
I think he should have to fess up now. I don't believe that he's retiring. Does anybody here really think Larry's retiring? I know you don't.
Yeah, well, and this picture behind us, I think, is your legacy to end it, because all of these people, younger people, older people, that's the legacy that life will go on, and Channel 6 will continue to be preeminent because of the legacy, the mixture of young, passionate people and people who were here for a long time that retain the passion, and it's because of you.
Well,
can you sign off for the final time?
That's it. You know, as we usually say, we appreciate you being with us tonight. Do as I will be doing, watching Bill, Kelly, Greg, and Mike every night here at 6 and 10. Stay tuned now for the Wheel of Fortune. Have a great evening.